Holy cannoli. 2 weeks ago, the jobs report came out. Worse than expected, sending the markets in a tailspin. But ever since, markets have been recovering. We're now for the S&P and the Nasdaq on a 6-day winning streak. We have the biggest weekly gains this week since November. So what's happening? What has changed here? Why this sudden reversal from the bad news that we had? And how much longer will this continue? Are we on a new bull run? Are we making new highs? That's what we're going to talk about today. And with that said, welcome to Coffee with Markus and Mark. And in this show, we're going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. Today is Friday, August 16th, and it is so good to be back, Mark.
Great to have you back, Markus.
Yeah, and I mean, I should probably stay away for a little bit longer because look at this. I mean, if you have ever wondered what a V-shaped recovery looks like, this is it. This is the picture-perfect V-shaped recovery. So we did have the jobs report 2 weeks ago, followed by the Bank of Japan raising interest rates, and I mean the SAM rule being triggered, and all of these scariness. And now look at this rally.
Right back. And yeah, that's V-shaped recoveries don't get much better than that. But that's what we have, and it's been quite a week.
It has been quite a week because, I mean, so what's causing this? Why right now? Suddenly, okay, all worries are aside. Well, this has everything to do with the economic reports that we saw this week. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where it really kicked off on Tuesday with PPI data coming in better than expected, inflation, the producer price index showing some really decent numbers, showing that maybe inflation is under control. And then core CPI data, no real surprise.
Yeah, I mean, this is where, for the first time in a long time, we saw that CPI year over year, the consumer price index, pushing below 3 at 2.9%. So that's good. But I think what really excited traders is all the data that came out on yesterday.
Exactly. So we had some positive inflation data, but there's been that concern about the economy with the unemployment report or the jobs report and the tick higher in the unemployment rate. There were concerns. Are we starting to go into a recession, right? Is that a concern that the Fed now needs to deal with? But then this retail sales data shows that people are spending money.
Yeah. So in previous months, 0.5%, and everybody was expecting, okay, now we're slowing down. So the forecast 0.1%, but then we see retail sales data after contracting previously up 1%, core retail sales data which is without auto and cars, right? I mean, this up 0.4%, beating expectations. Unemployment claims coming in lower than expected. Empire State Manufacturing Index coming in better than expected and showing a trend towards the right direction here. So this were overall, okay, what recession? I mean, what do you mean economy slowing down? So this is where now the question is, okay, the previous week's jobs report, was this just a blip? And are we doing much better right now? And this is what traders seem to believe that, okay, well, that was a bit scary and let's go back to normal here.
Exactly. So with today's move and well, not necessarily today's move, but the move that we have seen this week, we are snapping a 4-week losing streak, right? And you definitely felt it last week and the week before, but 4 consecutive losing weeks and then coming back super strong this week, getting, basically erasing 3 weeks of losses.
Yeah, I mean, erasing 3 weeks of losses, and we see here for this week, the S&P so far up 3.6%, the Nasdaq up almost 5%, 4.95 as of right now. See the Russell still up 2.6%, the Dow up 2.6%, but we see that this week there was definitely more excitement about tech stocks again, going back into tech stocks after we saw a little bit of a rotation going into the value stocks in the Dow, and then also some small cap and mid cap stocks in the Russell. Right now, it seems that there's a little bit more exciting for big tech again.
It does. It looks that way, and the Nasdaq pulled back a little bit more than the S&P, but the interesting thing, the S&P is just 2.3% away from its all-time high. Right?
Right there again. And I mean, we talked about the 50-day moving average. I mean, boom, just slicing through it, not even hesitating on the way up. In the NASDAQ, right now, we're trading right at the 50-day moving average. And the Dow, I mean, also just slicing through, and the same for the Russell here. So let's see if the NASDAQ can break through. But as said, the S&P close to making new all-time highs again. Only, what, 2.3%? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 2.3%, just like that.
Crazy.
I
Well,
think
and
you have to look at
also
the
this
VIX.
week, go ahead.
I think you have to look at the VIX too. It's just
Oh my gosh.
incredible the change in tone here. I
So
mean,
what do
from
you call
all
an
that.
inverted V?
Yeah, I mean, just smacking right back down, trading at 15. Just huge the
Oh,
volatility crush.
like a little house here that we have.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
on this Monday scare going up to 68, now right back at 15. I mean, around 15 to 20 is healthy. We have seen values as low as 12 to 14, and right now we are back to 15. So fear just knocked on the market's door and then said, never mind. Disappeared into,
Yep.
vanished into the fog, or riding into the
Crazy.
sunset. Either way. All right. Well, more news this week. We heard that Warren Buffett has shifted a few positions. I found this this spreadsheet here on Seeking Alpha. Somebody's
Okay.
tracking all of Warren's position, and I thought it was quite interesting because we see here. Let me see if we can I have a way to show this slightly differently that I can mark it up. No, not really. Well, let's get started here with Apple. We see that he actually reduced his stake in Apple more than 10% this quarter. I mean, not last month, but this quarter here. He reduced his stake in Chevron and then entered a new stake in Ulta Beauty, Heitkoetter Holdings. Don't even know what this is, and increased it some more. Good old buddy, Occidental Petroleum, Oxy, and then also Liberty Media Group and Chubb Limited. I didn't have those on the radar.
Okay. Interesting.
But we also see that his biggest positions right now, and we see as the number of holdings here, Apple still 30% of his portfolio in Apple. Bank of America still 15%. American Express 12.5%. Coca-Cola 10%. Chevron 6% after trimming a little bit, and Occidental Petroleum at 5%. So, I mean, all of this combined is like what? 50, 60, 70. That's probably like in the top 5 positions, 70% of his portfolio.
Interesting.
Oh, we see Ulta Beauty this week, 0.1%. Just starting out slow here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely some excitement that Ulta's on Berkshire Hathaway's radar, but gosh, does it support the 11% jump yesterday, the 2.5% rally today with a 0.1% investment?
Well, I don't know. What if it increases it from 0.1% to 1%? I mean, this would definitely get people excited.
That'd be big. Yep.
Enough about Warren Buffett. Let's talk about us here. And I mean, first of all, looking at the heat map and what's happening today, a little bit mixed. I mean, this were today, after having this tremendous week, the 6-day win streak here in the S&P and NASDAQ, today kind of a diddle day. And we predicted it yesterday when we talked to our mastermind. I'm pretty sure that you talked about it in Coffee with Mark, that we expect this rally to fizzle out here going into the weekend, and everybody just taking a deep breath and then regrouping for next week.
Yeah, that's what I expected as we head into the weekend and having such a strong week.
Yeah.
So no surprise.
So, WTF, or Win the Fear. I mean, we were loaded up. We had what, like 7 or 8 positions in our portfolio. No new positions, no surprise, because I mean, fear has left the building, as we said. And today we had 2 more exits. And with these 2 exits, it pretty much means that right now, no more WTF positions for us.
Yeah, I mean it goes hand in hand with what we've experienced going back to last Monday. Last Monday we had a bunch of new signals. We took advantage of those. A couple more signals on Tuesday, and I think even Wednesday. All of a sudden, we had a pretty, full portfolio with WTFs, and then some exits with the last 2 today. Although Pfizer is still an open position, an open signal, not one that we traded, but this one is open.
Yeah. So that's an open one. 2 exits today. EMR, well, this is where we added to this. Still exited here as a small loss today. And then we have Honeywell that has been just diddling along there. At first looking good, but right now also closing it out with a small loss here.
Yep.
So nothing else to do with WTF. And then we have our wheel positions. And I mean, there it is. CSIQ right now struggling a little bit to break above the 15. So has been trading between 13 and 15. I want to see if it can break above 15 right now, trading at 1466. Nothing for us to do on this one here.
Nope. Earnings next Thursday.
Earnings next Thursday. We will see. I mean, we'll look at earnings next week. So make sure that you tune in next week. Halliburton today, pushing higher a little bit, but still below our assigned price at 34.50 right now. Nothing for us to do here. As you can see, our break even at 31.97. So that's good. We sold some puts, we sold some calls. We have been trading this range here for a while, and right now we just needed to push a little bit higher here.
Yeah, crude oil's down 3.6%. So crude oil trading just above 75, and with Halliburton down just 0.2%. I think that's a win.
Yeah. So then also you have BP, British Petroleum, and British Petroleum really nicely here, bouncing back up. You have been able to sell calls against your existing positions already, right?
Exactly. I sold the 34.50 calls for next week, and got 32 cents on the start with the wheel when I sold puts, and I think it was 23 cents on the call side. So collecting some premium, and nice little recovery after the drop last Monday.
All right. So that's BP, British Petroleum, a position that you're in. KSS Coals is a position that I'm in, and I'm trying to sell calls today against my position at 21.50. Today, Coals up 2%, was up as much as 2.5%, pulling back a little bit right now from the highs, but still a very nice up move. So I'll see if I can sell calls against my existing position for next week, expiring next week, and we'll see. Not yet filled at what I'm looking for.
All right.
Another position that I'm in that you're not in is Merck, and Merck was an earnings play for me, and we expected a V-shape, or I expected a V-shape recovery here, very similar to what we saw in the indices. That hasn't happened just yet, so I am assigned at 120. My break even is at 116.01. Right now we're trading at 113.50, so nothing for me to do just yet. Today, just around the flat line here, has been trading in this little range here between, I want to say, 111 and 115, and needed to break out here to the upside to be able to sell calls against this one. Finally,
nice.
UPS. What a move yesterday. UPS, little buddy, go. I mean, gapping higher, and I mean, it looks like a massive move. If you measure it, it's only 1.7%, but this is for UPS. 1.7% is a big one. And we see a little bit of a follow through with up 0.2% for today, where overall the markets are flat or slightly down.
Yeah, and this one, I might have mentioned that the ex-dividend date was today, but it's actually Monday. So UPS kept the quarterly dividend at $1.63, and shareholders on record for August 19th, Monday, are entitled to that, payable on September 5th. So nice little dividend there.
Yeah, so this will be great. I mean, at this point, my break even is at 134.90. We'll get the dividend in September, reducing this by another $1.63. So I mean, the dividend yield here, 5.16%. I mean, for being in the position and right now not being able to sell calls, at least we're collecting some dividends here and keep lowering our break even point. I'll take that.
Yeah, I think Buffett needs to pick up some UPS shares.
Buffett
Get that
needs to
nice
pick up.
dividend.
Okay. Hey, Warren, if you're listening, buddy, can you pick up some UPS shares so that it jumps like 12% as Ultra Beauty did this
Yeah,
week? So ULTA, that would be nice.
that's a great buy.
All right. So these are our current positions, and we'll see what the markets are doing right now. And Mark, I know that you are holding down the fort. Did you have a few great dad jokes this week that you told? I haven't been able to catch up yet.
A few decent ones, Marcus. But it's always nice to have a little more competition, though.
I mean,
So
you won 4 days in a row. You won 4 days in a row.
see, it's not about the easy wins, Marcus. It's about the fight.
All right. Well, let's see if you can put up a good fight. I believe that today is even National Dad Joke Day.
Ooh, I
So,
did hear that, and well, you know,
floor's yours.
so all of these dad jokes and everything. My wife yesterday, she said that you need to stop being so immature, and I told her to get out of my fort.
Okay. All right. All right. That's a good one. So I have a warning today. To the guy who stole my antidepressants, I hope you're happy now. Well, okay.
There you go.
You vote. Let's jump over and let's see what's happening in the markets before we wrap up for today. And we do see that the S&P, as we said, is just diddling along. Markets are taking a breather from this massive rally. The S&P right now down 0.14%. The Nasdaq down 0.2%. The Russell down 0.2%. The Dow down 0.03%. And we see all indices are just diddling along there, VIX dropping. And this is what we expect for the remainder of the day. I even expect some profit taking after this scare that traders are taking some money off the market. So we might see a negative day today, snapping the 6-day win streak. I don't know. What do you think, Mark? Will we end positive, or will this be where we end the week positive, but the day negative?
Yeah, I mean the week is positive, locked, and definite, but I think we will end the day negative. Just a little bit of profit taking going into the weekend after such a strong week.
Yeah. All right, and there you have it. So, I mean, next week will be interesting. Make sure that you tune in, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit subscribe. Hope that you like today's shows. If you did, bump the like button. It would help us out here. And if you think that this was great information worth sharing, especially the dad jokes on National Dad Day, I mean, come on, you have to share. There's a share button right underneath. And with that said, have a great weekend, and then we'll see you again next week.
Happy trading, everybody.